Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome to the Painted South. It's raining outside, it's very dreary. It's a Friday night and I'm middle-aged, so instead of going out and doing anything fun socially, I'm going to stay home and work on some paint projects. So in today's video, I'm back in the guest room that you may have seen in my last video, the guest room makeover part 1. I have a lot of smaller projects to do prior to part 2, where I pull this whole room together and decorate and everything. I've got to do a lot of painting projects, and one of them I've already started. It's this cabinet behind me. I got so many great suggestions from the last video, and the one I have not 100% decided on the outside, but I have decided to paint the inside chiffon cream just to brighten it up. It's already made such a huge difference. So I actually bought several paint colors today, and I'm going to show those to you. But I just love this cabinet. It's going to look a lot better painted. I can't wait to get it done. But I did do one coat of the chiffon cream on the inside, and I'm going to keep working on that probably tomorrow. But in today's video, I'm going to share with you a lot of accessories and things that I found at thrift stores and out shopping over the past couple of weeks. And today, when I went out to get more paint, I stopped in and I got several things that will be great accent pieces for in here or anywhere else. But I wanted to get some things that I could paint purple or lavender to go with these curtains back here, but that weren't super expensive and that I could change out seasonally. I think I can use purple, lavender, kind of that dusty color from spring through summer, maybe even into fall, pairing it with some darker browns and maybe some oranges and things like that. But I probably won't keep these curtains up into fall. They're just too spring and summer-like. So I found some neat pieces today, and I thought those would be great to paint lavender or purple, whatever color you want to call it, or maybe even some green pieces that aren't very expensive and that I can customize to suit this room to match these curtains, but that really don't cost a lot of money. And the great thing is I can repaint them again. If I decide to change out the curtains and do something totally different, I can repaint these with a new coat of paint for a few dollars and a little bit of my time, and they'll look like brand new decor accent pieces. The great thing about paint is that you can just paint over something again. So as I paint some of these things, if I don't like them, I'll change the color. If I like them, but only for a season, I'll turn around and paint them again, maybe for fall or for winter. So when you buy things at thrift stores for $1, $2, or $3, you really can't beat the prices. Now, I will say this. If you shop right, if you go to Ross, TJ Maxx, Hobby Lobby, sometimes when they have things on sale, sometimes you cannot beat the prices. Their prices are so good, especially if they're having a sale, that you could not go out and thrift something like that and then come home and buy all the paint, because paint is very expensive. I just got 4 quarts of paint today and it was over $80. So granted, they are going to last me a long time and go through a lot of projects, but sometimes it is cheaper just to go ahead and buy something. A lot of times it's cheaper. I mean, you cannot recreate some of these things without machinery and professional tools and all these kinds of things. So I do love to thrift, but I tell you what, sometimes it's nice to just buy what you like that's already done. And then you don't have to always be doing projects. I like to sort of mix the two. And so that's what I'm going to be doing in this room and throughout the house. So let me show you what I found. So one of the items I found while I was out thrifting that I thought I could paint and just try different techniques on, because there's so much detail, is this candlestick. I really loved everything about it. It's very large. There was only one. I wish there were a set with like 3 different sizes, but it has a lot of detail. So I know this is set on selfie mode, so this tag is backwards, but it does say $5. So I got this for only $5. It's like a really good size. And these type of items that are very detailed like this paint up really well. If you like that old world, distressed, French country, and that kind of look, if that's what you like, then these are the kinds of pieces that are great to look for with all this kind of detail. So I got this and I thought this would be a good piece to paint in a specific color to add and tie in maybe one of the greens that are in these curtains back here, or the lavender somewhere on here, or maybe the whole thing. So that will be fun to play with different paint colors. So the next item I found while I was out thrifting was this wall basket. It is metal and it's a really nice size. It's pretty shallow, so you could put it on a front door if you wanted and still have your storm door closed, depending on how much florals or greenery you put in the top. But this was only $3.95. Again, I know that's backwards, but $3.95. And this is something that I could definitely paint. I was going to do it black, but I'm not sure. I like this neutral color, but it's something that didn't cost very much, so it's fine to sort of experiment and see what I can come up with. Perfect for spring with all the little flowers on. I wouldn't use it obviously during the winter, but definitely great for spring. So this may be something I paint in the green or purple color. So the next item is this handmade piece of pottery. It has this great terracotta color and then this finished glaze handle and inside, and it does have a mark on the bottom. But I just loved this piece. I cannot remember exactly. I think it was probably $7. That's what's popping into my head. But I really loved this piece. Great for any season, but I think spring through fall because of the terracotta color, and you could just do some really pretty floral arrangements in here. I really love this finish on it, and I love that it looks old and like something has been dripping and running out of here over the years. So I just thought that was really pretty. And again, like I said, I think it was about $7. So I thought that was a great buy. So the next thing I got was this little, I think it's one of the little plant hangers, sort of like the macrame ones, but you just put your little plant pot down in there and it holds it. But I don't know if I would trust that. I don't know how sturdy this is, but it's just this little shell plant hanger. And I've mentioned this before, I have one bin full of all summer stuff, all kinds of shell things, lamp stuff. I mean, a little lamp with shells in it and just different things like that. And I don't have a ton of summer decorations, and so I just try to collect things as I go along. So I'm not spending a ton of money on them. If you love summer decorations, you need to go to Home Goods. They have a ton of stuff, really beautiful pieces. I was very tempted, but I don't really decorate a tremendous amount for summer. And so when I do, if I do, I would like to collect things over time that don't cost very much, because we live out in the woods. We don't have a swimming pool or anything like that. And so we don't live near the beach. So if I do put a little bit of summer decor out, it's just going to be small amounts, or maybe just do one area with a bunch, like this cabinet, for example. If this is the guest room and it's summer, I could take everything out of there and do all sort of summer type decorations with shells and so forth. And that would be fun and kind of keep it concentrated in one area. So just an idea. But I got this actually to drape around a bottle, sort of like the wooden beads, but I've purchased necklaces in the past where you can hang them around bottles or around a candlestick or coming out of a little basket, just like you do the wooden beads, but in this case, it would be these little shells. I almost forgot to tell you the price on this, and it was $2. So these next items I got with the anticipation of decorating for Christmas at the end of this year. Now these were 75 cents a piece. They actually have grapes on them and leaves. So I could use these any time of the year, but my thought was to use these as ornaments. They're little tiny cups, and there were 7 of them. I guess a lot of times someone will break one. They were probably on a punch bowl. I didn't see the punch bowl, but they had these there for 75 cents a piece. So I was just thinking about possibly even spray painting these and distressing them or making them look like little old cups, or I may just leave them clear, but just tying a little ribbon around them and hanging them all in the tree for a tree in the kitchen. I like to put trees all throughout the house for Christmas, and so I got 7 of these with that in mind. If I don't use it for that, I will just stack them maybe on a little tray or something for decoration. But I really thought they were cute. So if you can pick up a punch bowl set without the punch bowl, if you can get all the little cups, they make great ornaments. So I was just rewatching one of the clips to make sure that I said something correctly. And I was looking at myself and I was like, oh my gosh, I look so tired. I think this whole daylight savings time thing it messes me up for at least a week. And our sleep schedule is all out of whack. So anyway, if I look tired, I'm sorry, because I am tired. Let's move on. Next, I picked up this little book stand with the intention of refinishing it and using it in the kitchen for either like my phone or a cookbook or iPad, whatever. A lot of people don't use cookbooks anymore, but I actually have some of my favorite recipes that are in cookbooks. And so I got this little stand. It's made of wood, obviously easy to sand and refinish or repaint, but it's nothing fancy, but it could definitely be embellished. So I'll probably do a makeover on this later on, obviously not for this room, but it was $4 at the Habitat for Humanity. This next item is very heavy. I found this at a local ministry thrift store, and they have like 2 or 3 locations, and it's super heavy. I picked this up. Let me show you. So it goes on the wall like this, and then it has the 3 arms for candles. So there was no price. I picked this up off the table and I took it up to the counter and I was like, there was no price on this. Can you tell me how much this is? And he was like, $3. I was like, okay, I'll take it. Anyway, $3 for this super heavy metal candelabra, wall sconce, whatever you want to call it. You know, and it's really funny when you go thrifting, because something that is very valuable to me that I would have probably paid for that, I would have paid a lot more than that. Even at a thrift store, I would have definitely paid more than that. But I would have seen that at a consignment store or like an antique store at a booth. I would have seen it and I would have paid more for it there, even in a retail store. But for $3 at a thrift store, you can't beat the prices, and that's going to look fabulous hanging somewhere. I may even hang it outside. It's like on the back porch or maybe on the back screen porch or something. So I don't know. The thrill of the hunt is so fun, and you guys that go thrifting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's probably going to be a glare, so I'm not going to turn this directly toward the camera, but I picked this up today when I went out. So I had to go out and run some errands and had to get the paint today. Popped into the thrift store, one of the local ones, and it was in the window display, and so I ran in, went around and grabbed it out of the display. And so I'll try to, it's really dirty. So I probably should have cleaned this off before I tried to show it to you, but it's this beautiful bird print. Let me try to get back. I know you're going to be like, how many sconces does this lady need? Well, apparently I need a lot because I keep finding them. So I got these today. They were $3 a piece. I think they're solid brass. I'm not sure. They're at least metal and sprayed to look brass. Maybe they're coated, I'm not sure, brass plated. But anyway, they are a nice heavy metal. And I just really love these. I think they're really cool. Might polish them up, add them to something else, and use them for display somewhere. But brass is getting really popular. I know it's probably more on the streamlined modern look for a lot of people, but I like the vintage brass looking pieces and antique gold, so I snatched these up. I know what you're thinking, more sconces. Yes, at the same thrift store today, I got these for $2 a piece. Now, I have other pieces that match this. I know I do. I don't know where they are because our house is a disaster and everything's piled in the garage. So I know somewhere in my decor that I have pieces that match this. So we'll see what I can come up with. So these are very different, but overall kind of a similar look to them. I will not paint these, but I definitely will be painting these. Yes, I got a lot of candle sconces, but I also got these. Little flower wall pocket sconce things. I love these. I know they're not in style. I get it. I know everyone is getting rid of their dated things and people don't like these, but give it to me because I like them. I'll take all the things. I will take all the sconces. I will take all the flower pocket things, vases, wall vases. What are these called? I'm not sure. I just think for $2 a piece, I can do a lot with these somewhere in my house. Now this brass candle holder, I actually had one of these. I think it was galvanized metal. I may have painted it, but I ended up giving it away or selling it at a yard sale. I can't recall, but this one is solid brass, made in the USA. Like I said, I know that's backwards, but I just thought that this was really cute. I can totally see this for Christmas, of course. I always think of everything. Can I use that for Christmas? Or the fall too, but this was very plain. You could use this, I think, with any type of decor. And it would look really cute stacked on some books in a cabinet or really anywhere in your house, in a windowsill or something. So, and it was $5. Again, backwards. Of all the books that I've had on home decorating and so forth, I got rid of a lot of the magazines. I did save some of the actual books. Nowadays we use Pinterest and Instagram and all of these other things for inspiration, but I still love looking through books. Now my husband actually found this one. It is called The Home Workshop. He loves anything that has to do with woodworking, and so he picked this one up. While I was at the thrift store, I found this book, At Home with Southern Living, and I wanted it just, if you take off the jacket, it does have a little water stain right there, but it's this beautiful neutral color with gold on it. And it's a nice hardback book, and I was just loving looking through this magazine at some of these pictures. Anyway, while I was looking through here, I was like, these ideas I would use today. So it really spoke to me, and I just thought this would make a great coffee table book. One thing that is dated that I just saw was a ceiling fan. And I know because I'm trying to take them all out of my house. So the copyright in here says 1984. And I am loving on some of this design. Anyway, even if some of it's a little bit dated, I do love the color as a decorative book. And in addition to that one, I found this essential cookbook. And when you remove the jacket cover, it is this beautiful green color with gold. So when you stack these two together, you have this, and I just love these colors. Perfectly neutral. I can use them year round, and they will certainly go in this room if I wanted to because of the green and this sort of creamy taupey color. Well, I'd call that oatmeal, I guess, where you can stack them like this. So anyway, I was happy to find these good hardback books in these pretty colors, and these were the hardbacks, large, were $1.75 a piece. So when we moved, I had a ton of white false craft dishes, and they had a similar look to this lamp, and I got rid of all of them. I had everything: canisters, gravy boat, platters, creamer, sugar, mugs. I had everything. And so I got rid of all of that stuff because I just kind of got tired of it. But this little lamp was super cute. And we actually got this for free from the thrift store. Well, I guess we kind of paid for it, but they threw it in because we purchased an antique glider rocking chair. And so I'll show that to you in another video. I don't know if we're going to put it in this room or not. I haven't decided that yet, but that is out in the garage. It needs cleaned with Murphy's oil. It had like little spider sacks underneath of it. It was really gross. But anyway, they threw in this little lamp, so that was a bonus. Now, it doesn't have the harp or finial or anything like that, but that's okay. But it does have a similar shape to those false craft dishes. But I just thought it was really cute, and it would actually look really cute in here. It's like a creamy off-white. It's not a bright white. So I just think it's really cute, and I'll be on the hunt for a lampshade. The next items I got were 2 of these vases. Now, I got these with the intention of using faux plants. These are not intended for use with water. So they are finished on the inside, but I guess they are still porous. I'm not sure. But these were in their floral department, and they were 50% off, and I love them just the way they are. I may or may not tweak them a little bit, but I love anything with this sort of leaf design on them. So I grabbed these. I think they'll go great with everything else that I've been collecting and sort of my style. And even though these are new, I think they look old. So these were $19.99 original price. So I got 2 for that price because they were half off. So I didn't think that was bad. And this is one of those items that if you try to buy this at a thrift store, it's not going to be much less than $10. Or maybe if it is, by the time you bought it and painted it and so forth, I mean, you might save a couple of dollars if you already had the paint on hand. So anyway, I picked up a pair of these. Now what I'm going to do is pick some of the items that I just showed you, or I may go and grab some out of my stash that I've already showed you in previous haul videos. I didn't want to repeat those. All of these things were new. I had never showed them to you before. So I'm going to probably pick some of these and maybe dig in my stash. I'm not sure. But the colors that I went and purchased today, let me show you. So this was the wall color that's on the wall right now, which you can't really see it, but this was the wall color that I showed you in the last video. And this is chiffon cream, and that is Rust-Oleum chalk paint chiffon cream. That's the color I've base coated on the inside of the cabinet, and they look really nice together, very creamy. So I went to Ace Hardware. I did not want to drive to Lowe's, you guys, with gas prices and it's far away. So I went to Ace Hardware again. I got 1 quart of this epic color. So I got this color in a flat paint, and that is what this looks like right here. If I'm being honest, the color matching isn't exact. The wall color wasn't an exact match either. So if you want an exact match, you need to go to Lowe's and get Valspar. But it's close enough for what I'm doing. I'm going to layer and add glaze and everything, so it doesn't matter because you're not going to see this exact color anyway. And I actually like the color that they mixed up. It's a little bit brighter and warmer, so I do like that. And then I also had them mix this bottom color. It is, now this is a Clark and Kensington color at Ace Hardware. So this is Swaying Palm Trees green. And here it is on the paint stir. So we have this color and this color. This is the chiffon cream. And then I also got, which I don't have a sample of, I will have to take a photo and insert it on the side of the tintable Rust-Oleum chalk paint. You can now get chalk paint and have it tinted, but you can only pick from so many colors on the side. They have a light base and a dark base. And so I picked this purple color I think it was called Deep Lavender. And then I had this one mixed up, and it is called Pebble. Now, I thought it was more of a brown, not this color. I thought this was more of a brown gray. And it kind of is. It has a hint of brown in it, but it's called Pebble, so I should have assumed it was gray, but it looked kind of like a brown gray on the container. So what I did was I had this brown color that I had mixed up when I was doing the bed. That's a whole nother story. I had to make my own glaze. Anyway, I had this brown color mixed up, and so I mixed these two together and I came up with this one, which is exactly what I wanted, a brown gray. I love that color. So let's go see what we can come up with for some accents for this room to bring out these greens and lavenders in the curtains. So for the first DIY project, I decided to take these two terracotta pots that I purchased from Walmart and add lots of texture for an old world look. To add the texture, I'm going to use joint compound. Now, you can apply this product however you want. You can use a little putty knife. You can use any tools that you have on hand. You can even use your hands with gloves, of course. But I love using chip brushes for almost everything, and so that's what I decided to use. I applied the joint compound in different directions and in different thicknesses. You really can't mess this part up, so just apply the amount that you prefer. To soften some of the peaks, I used a wet paper towel to smooth out the product. And if the joint compound happened to dry too quickly, you can always sand it after it is dry. After my joint compound was totally dry, I started applying several earthy colors because I intended to go for this look that I saw on Pinterest. However, after several layers and colors and glazes, I decided that I didn't like the look I was getting, so I ended up adding the deep lavender chalk paint color as the top coat. By doing this, it allowed all of the other colors that I already applied to show through underneath and add a lot of depth. Next, I found a little basket in my stash that was looking kind of rough, but it reminded me of an Easter basket. So I gave it a quick 2 coats of the lavender paint as well. I've had this old bread box in my garage for several months now. I thrifted it for $4. Now, since I already have another larger bread box that is much nicer to use in my kitchen, I decided that I would make this one over and repurpose it. At first, I thought I would strip the finish off and do a bleached raw wood look. So I applied this citrus strip, and long story short, I ended up with a mess on my hands. It's the next day, and this piece looks Cass. Okay, it's the next day, and I've got kind of a mess here. It was really windy last night, and all of this citrus strip basically started drying on here, and I tried to get it off. And anyway, I thought I'm going to let it dry and just sand it off. But before I start sanding it, I'm going to just try to wash it down with some hot soapy water and Dawn, and then let it dry out here in the sun, and then I will sand it. You can see all the pollen on there already. Spring is upon us. So I ended up sanding it, and while I was doing that, I decided to remove the decorative top piece. I thought it was pin nailed on, but it ended up being screwed from underneath, so I busted off a chunk of the top when I hit it with my hammer. I ended up using some Gorilla Wood glue and painter's tape to attach the sliver of wood back to the top. So I decided that I would just make it look really old and distressed with layers and layers of paint. Now, I purposefully paint this way to create the look that I want. You could, of course, just paint it one color, going in the direction of the wood for a clean look. I don't know why I paint this way. Most people would never even see the subtle texture or color variations. I always just keep layering until I'm happy with it, and then I'll top coat it with either wax or polyacrylic. So then I thought I wanted this piece to be darker, and so I aged it with a dark glaze. However, after I was done, I liked the look, but not for my decor right now. So I ended up taking some chiffon cream chalk paint and diluting it and making a whitewash to go over the piece, which was okay, but ultimately I ended up painting a thick layer of the chiffon cream over most of the surfaces, leaving lots of the texture and character though. Later on, I may add wallpaper to the back, but for now, I added this pretty green for a pop of color. I softened it by dry brushing a lighter green on top. Instead of painting that large gold candlestick that I just showed you in the haul, I grabbed this one that I thrifted a long time ago. It was originally from Pier 1 for $29.95, but I got it for just a few dollars. I think the shape and the size of this one will go much better with the guest room makeover style. I loved the chippiness of the original finish, and so all I needed to do was add that deep lavender color on top. For a little more color variation, I mixed up a deeper shade of purple and applied that sparingly for some added interest. I then used a wet paper towel to distress the edges and reveal some of the original finish. To protect the paint finish, I applied a protective top coat, and this is an ultra flat finish. So here are all of the pieces styled together. I put them together just for this video, but I will be moving them around the room later on when we are styling and decorating for the guest room makeover reveal. Now I am loving this bread box makeover. I think it turned out as such a cute display piece. The touch of green in the back can work for all seasons, so I'll be able to use this throughout the summer and into fall and Christmas. I think the flower pots are going to work perfectly for spring arrangements. Most of my florals and greenery are still all boxed up, so I grabbed what I could find to style them for the video. Now I'm actually really surprised by how much I am loving this color on this candlestick. I think it looks absolutely beautiful with the wood top, and I think I'm going to be pulling out more of the accent colors that I found in my favorite painting to use throughout the house on candlesticks and other small items. I think adding small amounts of the deep lavender and the green colors will be just enough to pull the colors from the curtains without being overbearing. I would love to hear from you in the comments section below and let me know what you think of these thrifted makeovers, and also what was your favorite item from the thrift haul. I'm so excited to share more videos with you as I work on this house and my projects and finish up this guest room makeover. I hope you'll join me here on my channel by subscribing if you haven't already. And when you do subscribe, please make sure you turn on the notifications and select the option All so you won't miss the next video. I hope that this video brought you some inspiration, maybe some ideas, and inspired you to remake some of the things that you already have on hand at your house, or possibly go out and do some treasure hunting at some thrift stores so that you can do some makeovers like I did today. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for your love and support. I wish everyone the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in our next video.
Wanna be free of this heart, yeah. Wanna feel your arms around me. I need you more, need you here, more than I would like to admit.